Hello and welcome along to Mondo Chelloveck Movies. My name is John, and this video is going to be some recent pickups I've got. First up is The Nanny on a double bill with The Blue Lamp. Now, the reason why I got this one is because it's a Hammer film from 1965, and with the recent Hammer going to release their stuff on their back catalogue, I thought I would like to see some more of the ones that I haven't got, but I didn't want to kind of spend some money on them getting some ones imported from the US because these ones haven't been released in the UK on Blu-ray. So I thought what I'd do is I'd just get some cheap ones on DVD just to see us through to when hopefully Hammer will release them. Now, I watched The Nanny the other day. I've heard a lot of people say great things about this. I'm not the biggest fan of Bette Davis, I've got to say, but she was absolutely brilliant in this. At the moment, Hammer seem to be releasing some of their really obscure back catalogue, and this could be one of the ones that they would get first because I do know that they've got their big stuff is coming soon. They do say I've heard on the grapevine about that. Not really officially from Hammer, but I'm hearing kind of whispers about that. But these ones here, these sort of lesser known obscurities, are ones that would be a great addition, and I would definitely pick these ones up because I'm getting a bit of a schooling on these like lesser known Hammer ones, but a lot of people do talk highly about them. So highly recommended. This one was only about £4 off eBay, and I thought I'd just get it and I got it because as well it was a double bill. You can get like a separate one of this for about the same price, but I thought I'll get this with this other film, which isn't a Hammer film. It is actually, believe it or not, it is the first film featuring Dixon of Dock Green, and I think the TV series was spawned from this film. Can you believe it? But what a film that was. Really enjoyed it, and I can't wait to see if Hammer, well, hopefully, fingers crossed, Hammer will get a hold of this and put it out in 4K. This one looks pretty good, I've got to say, square framed. But I do think that Hammer will put a really good version of this out in 4K because the four-sided triangle that's coming out, the 4K on that is meant to look absolutely sensational. So this one, fingers crossed, as I said, should be coming out hopefully from Hammer. That's why I got this one as a placeholder. So that's The Nanny. Next up for £12 from CEX, I got the Blue Jean Monster. This is released by 88. It's got an absolutely amazing slipcover in it. Now, that was what first drew me to this release. So this release was from 88 Films. It's got an amazing cast as well. The language on here is in Cantonese only. There is no English dub on here. Unfortunately, I do like watching these with English dubs, but if it's only got the Cantonese alternative with the subtitles, it doesn't really matter if I'm honest. So this film is meant to be a bit of a reworking of the amazing 1988 film Dead Heat, which is unbelievable. And when I put it on and flick through it, I could see sort of similar tropes in it, and it looks really violent and really gory as well. Like I say, it hasn't got an English dub on it, but it doesn't really matter if I'm honest. And the slipcover on here is just, like I say, sensational. I think I've only seen this without the slipcover in HMV. Actually, probably knew it had a slipcover, but hadn't seen it until I saw it in CX. One of the rare times you see a slipcover in CX, so I had to jump on that one. Can't wait to see this because I'm a big fan of Dead Heat. If you haven't seen Dead Heat, being released by 88 and also it's got released by Vinegar Syndrome as well on 4K. I think that 88 would probably release that in the future on 4K and it would look absolutely sensational because the Blu-ray looks nice as well. It's an amazing film. If you haven't seen it already, highly recommended. But since this one is meant to be like a bit of a kind of homage to that, I'm all for it. So that's the Blue Jean Monster. Next up, as I change positions, the first bit of this video you saw was filmed a week ago. It just shows you how long it takes me to get a video out these days. Anyway, next up is Pandora's Box. I got this from CEX the other day for £28 now. I originally saw this in Edinburgh and it was around about 20, 28, £30, and I thought the J card on it was pretty mangled. Now it's got a bit of a crease on here, unfortunately, but it is what it is. If it was wrecked, I would have to just accept it. But I'm glad that it's still there, and hopefully I'll get a protector for this, and I will protect it. So when I originally saw this in CX in Edinburgh for around about 28 to £30, I thought that's a bit steep. So I let it go, especially with like I say, the mangled, and it was really mangled J card. I don't even know why they even put it out with it. They should have just not even put it there. I think that would have put plenty of people off. Although when we went up recently, it was long gone. So I thought as soon as I see this, I will pounce on it because when I looked online, they're going for 40, £50 sometimes. So I thought I'll have to get this, but I'm so glad I got it. This is meant to be one of the best silent films out there. And Eureka have a track record of releasing some great silent films. This stars the amazing Louise Brooks. Now, if you've ever seen Pandora's Box, the music video by OMD, you will see that there's a big reference to her on there, even on the cover of the single, I think she's on there. And she must have one of the best haircuts of the 1920s, bar none. It looks spectacular on the screen. And this one has, as most silent films have, the elements are great in some parts and not in others ones. So you've got to take the rough with the smooth. Mainly, every bit I put on here looks really good. Some look ultra sharp and some look a little bit soft. But it's down to the elements. If you can't get them in, like after 100 years roundabout, you can't believe that some of these things exist. Never mind look so good as they can do on Blu-rays and 4Ks. If you get a 4K of a silent film in 1920s, it looks astounding when you get the original negatives. The things they can do with them these days is unbelievable. Can't wait to watch this. And I'm so glad to pick up this special edition because it's one I've been after for such a long time. So that's Pandora's Box. Next up is one that I'm showing here, which I didn't buy actually. I've had for a long time. It is Milano Calibro 9. It's a film by Ferdinand de Leo, and it is the first part of the Milieu trilogy, if I'm saying that right. This is a brilliant film. It's so violent. It's got an amazing soundtrack. It's a kind of like a mobster film from Italy, and it's absolutely brilliant. Now, I knew this was a trilogy, obviously. And the other day when I was in HMV, I was just mooching around the shelves and I was looking at the two for £22 deal. So if you want to collect this trilogy, the first part here is from 1972, released by Arrow. It's still available. And the second two in the two for £22 sale, I hope it's still on for you, is the Italian collection. This is from 1972. This is the second part. And I was really, because I was looking at it and I thought, this rings a bell for some reason. I totally forgot that this was a trilogy. And I thought, just put it at the back of my mind. So when I saw this one, the cover really got us because it really reminds me of the action comic from the 1970s with a character called Dredger. I'm sure there's a cover that he is in there like that. And they've copied the cover off because this is obviously out just before Action was out in 1976. Because as you know, the original Action comics were really violent. That's why they got banned. Really happy to now complete this trilogy. So that's the second part, the Italian collection. And the third part is The Boss. I think most of the characters from here are through these three films. I know it stars Henry Silva. It's got a great cast throughout this whole trilogy. Got some great music as well. Absolutely brilliant. Can't wait to sit down and watch this. I'm so glad to finish off this trilogy when previously I was looking for it. You just couldn't find it for love nor money. Right? We have to go really to an obscure one, probably an obscure DVD. And highly recommended if you like the sort of thing. I think as well as spaghetti westerns, the Italians have this really good knack of doing crime and cop dramas. They're some of the best out there. It might be a little bit of a forgotten genre, a bit like spaghetti westerns to some people. But if you're into sort of Italian films in general, the horror stuff, the really gory horror stuff, you will get a blast out of these ones because half the people you see in these ones do turn up in the other ones. There's a couple of people from there's a fella here called Pier Paolo Caponi. He's in the Cat and Nine Tails, and also Gianni Garco, who is in the Psychic. So then you've got the Lucio Fulci and Dario Argento references there. So absolutely brilliant. So this Italian period in the 1970s was also known as the years of lead because there's a lot of gunfighting and stuff in that with the cop dramas and the mafia stuff. So interesting trilogy. Can't wait to watch it. So that's Milano Calibro 9, the Italian connection, I said the French connection there, the Italian connection, and The Boss. So last up again from CEX, I saw this one for quite a few weeks. It was down to £10, which is a bargain for this. It is the Blu-ray version, although there is a 4K out there. So I thought the box looks great. It hasn't got the J card on, unfortunately, but for £10, I thought I'm interested in seeing this again because I didn't really care for this one when I first saw it. And it is Bruiser. Now, there's a lot of reasons why I wanted to see this, or to have this one. This is by Romero. This is a spectacular set from Indicate. I've looked at quite a few times and I knew there's a 4K out there, but I thought with the Blu-ray coming out at £10 in CX, I thought I'd give it a go. Because like I say, when I first watched it, the reason why I first watched it was because the Misfits, the band, my favourite band, although Mogwai are just topping them at the poll at the minute, they appear in here in a way, doing a couple of songs. So I knew I had to get this back in the day because I was collecting everything to do with the Misfits. Also, there is quite a few exclusive extras on here, and one of them is from Dr. Chud. He is the drummer, or he was a drummer in the period when I went to see them, went to see them a few times. I was on the tour bus and I was talking to Dr. Chud after the gig. And also Jerry Oney was there. Doyle was there. He came down the stairs and looked at me like I was dirt because I was on the bus. And also the singer at the time was not Michael Graves. It was actually Mike Hideous, who I met, and he was a nice bloke. I met them all actually. Apart from I met Doyle was all right. I talked to him briefly, but you just don't talk to Doyle. Everybody knows that. Anyway, so I thought I'll get this one, and I was watching the extra. I watched the extras with Chud, and he was talking about the fact that Georgie Romero did shoot a video with them. He shot a video called Scream, and it was a music video, and it was a brilliant video with great special effects where they're all dressed like zombies, the Misfits. And this isn't on there, unfortunately. You do see clips of it, and Chud was talking about his experiences with Georgie Romero, who he thought was an amazing fella. When I saw the Misfits in Newcastle in 1998 at the Riverside, which is now long gone, it was great to talk to Chud, and I talked to him for about half an hour. And the things we were talking about was like nuts, like to actually speak to him. And he was having a proper conversation with us, and he was interested in what I was talking about. We talked about food, we talked about everything. We talked about where Doyle's develop was for the whole time he wasn't in the Misfits for 13 years when split up. He said, oh, he still had it. He just used to brush it back when he was at work because he still worked at his dad's knife factory. Can you believe it? So there's loads of stuff going on. Actually, when we're there, Jerry Oney was getting interviewed by the fella, I think it's called Rat, and he was one of the blokes who used to work in Kerrang. So they were sitting there, and there was obviously somebody to do with the t-shirts from Cyclopean, I think it was. He was on the bus, and they were talking. I was standing watching them. I thought, I cannot believe what's going on here. And I was talking to Jerry Oney about bootleg videos and stuff like that. And he said, your t-shirts are bootleg. I said, you're joking, aren't you? He says, oh yes, we didn't do that design. He said, I like it. He said, but it's not one of ours. But it was weird to talk to them in that way, shape, or form. Apart from Doyle, who just had a tea towel in his head, and he was sitting brushing his teeth all the time. Yeah. So anyway, so I put this on. I will be watching this one again, and there is some music video. There is a couple of shots. There's a gig there that some people go to the gig. I know that much, and they watch the Misfits playing at this like kind of club, and it's a great performance actually. Michael Graves is the singer at that point. And so anyway, I put this on. I thought, well, it is what it is. It'll be something I would watch. I would have because of the Misfits connection, and also the fact that I just wanted to see this again. And the quality of this is brilliant. If I'm honest, unfortunately, just going back to Misfits, I didn't have any way of recording any of that. I have recorded lots of stuff with me meeting the Misfits from 1999 onwards, but in 1998, when I had all these great things, I was a bit four sheets to the wind as well because I was I just went and drank quite a few bevies because it was like a dream come true, and I wish I'd been a bit more sober actually. But it is what it is when you're younger. And so this I put this on and I thought I'd give it a shot, and I've got to say the picture quality on this Blu-ray is unbelievable. I couldn't believe actually I had to take the disc out and just say, have they given me the 4K by accident? But it is the Blu-ray. The quality on here is stunning. I can't imagine what the 4K is like. So this makes me think in the future, if I see the 4K cheap in a sale, if that ever happens, I will pick it up because the quality of this was, like I say, it was unbelievable. One of the best Blu-rays I've ever seen, which I was stunned by because I thought I always remembered that. Well, in my mind, I had the Blu-ray not looking that great. Well, I'm saying the Blu-ray, the VHS. When I watched it on VHS, I was like, is that it? And then it kind of faded into obscurity. But yeah, I can't wait to check this one out now. From being very ambivalent with it and thinking, well, do I really want to see it? Thinking, can't wait to see this one. Like I say, the picture quality, I couldn't believe on how good it looked. So once again, that was a good little trip to the town the other day. I feel like I picked up some really good. That one there it's really interesting to me now. And the Misfits, I've got a lot of stuff by the Misfits that aren't really, they just appear in different like films every now and again. So I've got them. I think I've got most of them things. It's great to finally get this trilogy done. The only thing about when you get a trilogy and it's from different companies and you think, oh, I would like to have them all together. So these ones will live at a different place because I have all my arrows together. But It's not too much of a problem, but you know what it is when you're collecting, you want to get your shelves looking as best as they can. Can't believe I got this one. This was so high on my list to get, especially I mean, you can get the standard edition, but I just really wanted the special edition. You know, when you just get a feeling for one, you think, I've got to get that one. And thankfully it turned up because you don't see this one very often for at an acceptable price. Blue Jean Monster as well, with its connection to Dead Heat. That's really intriguing. And finally, The Nanny. Can't recommend that enough. I want to get the anniversary as well, which is the other film that Betty Davis did with Hammer. And after seeing this one, I did have a reservation about her, and I thought I'm not really into her films at all. But when I saw this one, I thought, wow, I think I need to check some more films out. More of her later ones where it's a bit sort of bit crazy to see her in things like this. It plays a brilliant part as well. So there you go. So thanks for watching. You take care, and I'll see you on the next video. Cheers.